Hi, hello, hope you're in fine voice. Now, I've got a question here, and it comes from Nay B, who wrote about a month ago. Hi Gary, can you give an overview of what a solid marketing plan looks like, and would it be worth it to hire someone to find clients? Thanks. Okay, Nabi, well, that's a really important question, and it's a question that I think more voice actors should ask. A marketing plan really is your roadmap. It will tell you and give you pointers about how you're going to promote your voice. So the business side of voiceovers is really important. It's no good just having a great voice or being able to read a script well. It's also about being able to market your voice and target the people, i.e. the customers and the clients you hope are going to book you. Otherwise, you ain't going to get booked and you're not going to get any money. So having a marketing plan is really good. And it's a series of steps, I think. It sounds terribly daunting, but it isn't really. And I'm going to break it down into a series of steps you can take. So practical steps you can take. Now, in some cases, you may want to take on all of these pointers that I give you, or you may want to just dip in because you'll find that some of them work better for you than others. So it's not a universal prescription particularly. It's just giving you some ideas, and like I say, some steps that hopefully you can take to develop this marketing plan that'll help promote your voiceover business. The first port of call is to sign up to the pay-to-play sites, sometimes called the P2P sites. And these are platforms like Voice123, Mandy, Voices.com, Badalgo. There's one or two others as well, but they're probably the main ones. And their business model is you pay a subscription, which can be a monthly or annual fee, but they won't take any commission from you. And they come in for a lot of stick. Some people say, but I won't even get the work necessarily just by signing up. No, you won't. You still got to do auditions, but it will allow you to pitch for jobs. And it's a great resource because the jobs, potential jobs, will be coming into you. But it does mean investing a little bit of money. And is it worth it? I think it probably is if you get some work. But give it a go. You can always sign up as a free member anyway and see what happens. In theory, you can still get some work if people come across you on that particular platform's database. But it's important to have an online presence on those sites. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't really want to pay any money up front, I'd rather a company takes commission from me, then you're certainly thinking more along the lines of the gig sites, the gig economy sites. And they're sites like Fiverr and People Per Hour, plus Upwork has a free system as well. And there are one or two others like Covoco.com and more coming on stream all the time. Now, these work in reverse to the P2P sites. And what they do is they allow you to sign up for free, but they will take a commission from you, normally about 15 to 20%. But they're great places to start finding the work and to access jobs. And certainly for people to come across you as well and ask you to submit an audition. So those sites are really good. And even if you are signing up to the pay-to-play sites, it's worth having a presence on these other sites as well. And I mean on as many as possible. Don't skimp on your profile building because it's all part of your business plan. The next thing is to think about having your very own website. You don't need to spend a lot of money on that. You can build it yourself relatively easily using sites like Wix and GoDaddy and so on. There's one or two others too. So these particular systems will allow you to create your own web presence that you have control over. Make sure that if you are doing a website, you put a picture up there. Shock horror. I know you're thinking, but it's all about my voice. It is, but people want some human connection and they want to be able to see you. Also, headline with your voice description. Make sure you've got that voice description. It's accurate and it's promotional as well. If you're a conversational female voice, in her 50s, make sure you put that up there. I know you're thinking, well, they might be able to tell from my picture. Well, they might not be, actually. So make sure you keep it simple and upload your demos to that home page so that people don't have to go through lots of pages or lots of links to find your demos. You need them on that home page. So having your own website is a great idea. Again, it's something else that you can weave into your marketing plan, and you can link from pay-to-play sites and freelancer sites. You can link to your website, your very own website, and back as well. And that link building will help with your search engine optimization and help you rise up the rankings, hopefully, and increases the chance of you being found. Next on the agenda, we've got social media, the dreaded social media. And that means having a business presence on sites like Facebook. Now, that really means a Facebook page, not just your profile. So your profile is for personal things, pictures of your cat and so on, for family, basically family and friends. But from there, you can also create a Facebook page, which is like a website in and of itself, really. So you need a Facebook page. You also need some sort of presence on LinkedIn, usually a LinkedIn profile, much more of a businessy type thing. And you can also think of other sites as well, other social media outlets like Twitter and Instagram maybe. I always find it's a bit of a strange thing when people say promote yourself on social media, because no one, to my mind, has yet come up with the definitive way of promoting it. But what I would say is try not to be too braggy. You don't want to be bragging about what you've done. Remember, it's a journey. Your voiceover career, if you're starting out, is just beginning. And people love a human story. They love to know what other people are doing. Take your audience along with you. Take them on that journey. So when you get a new mic, I've just bought myself a new microphone. Hope you like it. Take a listen to it. Maybe direct them to your website and so on. So I think it's about being human and slightly fallible as well. I think we all are. And that may start to get you some traction, may start to get you some viewers and so on. But also share other people's material. That's very important. You can follow other voiceover artists or follow companies as well that might use voiceover artists and share their material too. Show that you're interested in certain production companies or media companies and so on. It's about engagement really and getting involved. And speaking of production companies, look local, look on your doorstep. If you just Google production companies near to you, maybe within 10 or 20 miles or a little bit further out, you'll be amazed at what you'll find. And sometimes a production company is just the mirror image of you. So it's just someone, she's sitting on her laptop at home, just creating corporate videos or whatever, and needs a voiceover and probably doesn't know where to find one. But if you've preempted that and just said, I'm down the road, I can come and see you, or I've got my own home studio set up here, I've got my own home microphone, then that's a great way of making contact with local businesses. And it's a great start. You can also offer to do IVR, interactive voice recording, which is on-hold phone messages for local companies too. Make yourself available and say, well, I can come over to you and record at your end, record the voice message there, or I can do it from home. So don't ignore what's just around the corner. Now, the next step in your marketing plan, and I think this is probably one of the best things ever, is to set up a Google Business profile. You may have come across this before. It used to be called Google My Business, and Google are basically saying, look, we'll give you some free advertising. We'll promote you in a kind of googly way. All you have to do is set up a business profile. And it means putting in your name and address, having a Google account. So you've got to set up that first if you haven't already got one. And then you can set up a Google business profile. Like I say, you've got to put in your address and your phone number because it's got to be legitimate, and they want to know, Google want to know, and indeed the public wants to know that you are who you say you are, you're not a scammer, and that you do genuinely exist. And I know a few people will say, oh, I'm not going to do that, I don't want that to appear online. If you're willing to swallow that, and I think it's a great thing to do because it just gives you that that air of authenticity. You really do exist. You really are a human being who lives at that address, and that's where you do your voiceover work. And it's there on Google, and it's free advertising, absolutely free advertising. So it's a Google business profile. Don't miss it out of your marketing plan. Onwards and upwards to our next pointer, next bit of information about having a marketing plan, and that is to write a blog. Yes, shock, horror. It's to actually put down on paper then, put down on the internet what you're doing. Just write this blog that people can read. And you'll probably say, but I haven't done any voiceover work yet. Well, that's a blog in itself, isn't it? Just talk about your journey. And I think that's important. People love to read about other people. Talk about the trials and tribulations of setting up your business, your voiceover business. Have you taken any classes or anything like that? Have you done some acting classes or some voiceover training classes and so on? If you have, talk about those. What were they like? Did you benefit from them? What's your equipment like? And just be really honest and put down what you feel. It doesn't have to be very long. It can be nice and short if you so wish. But you can link that to your own website, or you can link it to lots of other things on social media as well. So it will help build your online presence. And if you're really brave, you can do a vlog rather than just a blog, and that's a video blog. But maybe that's not for the faint-hearted. So anyway, think about it. And it's not for everyone, but if you give it a go, again, it's another way of promoting yourself. And finally, last but not least, if you have the budget, then it's time to advertise. Put your hands in your pockets and spend a bit of money. This is perhaps what Nabi was referring to. You could certainly employ a company to do stuff for you, or you may want to just do it yourself, but it still means shelling out some pennies. And that means advertising on sites like Google with Google Ads, or with Facebook ads, and probably the Instagram and LinkedIn and so on. It is expensive, and I won't try and hide that from you. So it isn't for every single pocket, really. And you've got to think about your return on investment. So make sure you control your budget tightly, because otherwise you'll find you're spending and spending and spending. You might be getting some inquiries and you might be getting some bookings, but are you making a return on that investment? It's something to consider, but not likely. And if you want to go for the freebie stuff, maybe do that first before you get to the stage of, okay, I'm now going to run some ads. And perhaps contact some local newspapers, see if you can run your ads there. It's another way, perhaps a cheaper way actually, of letting people know that you exist. But like I say, it's another option. So you don't have to do all of those things, just some of them. But please do something when it comes to marketing your voice. You need to do it, and you need to run your voiceover career like a business, like a professional. All right, thanks very much for watching today. Please look after your voice, and see you next time.